Ladies and gentlemen, as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, I pride myself as being or trying to be one of the individuals on earth that is con- familiar with the basic principles that would produce or play a major role in human beings experiencing on this earth as though they are in heaven, and that means a satisfied life. Now, there might be others out here that you top the message that I've got, and if they do exist, I wish they could speak a little bit louder because I'm listening. I'm listening for something that's better than this that I got. As wonderful as this that I got, it appears that no one is interested in it. But I find that in America, where we're living today, that we have been given a chance to observe everything about life. I think about our political season. I think about the Republicans and the Democrats. They're a little bit different since Donald Trump got on the scene. Donald Trump came on the scene and he seemed to have been so evil that he opened a door for people who had, been evil, and they were learning how to get rid of some of that evil. They were coming around, learning how to have compassion and learning how to have empathy. And then Trump came on the scene, opened that door. They realized they didn't have to. And they just bust back out there by the millions, with all of that ugliness. And when I say ugliness, I'm talking about the stuff that it profits from lying and cheating and stealing and killing and hatred and racism and all that kind of stuff. The fruits that come, these that make these real. Then it really is all up across the board now. When you start talking about human beings, every human being will engage themselves to a degree in some of the stuff. But collectively in America, on the Republican side, for some strange reason, it seems that they want to be champion on that. And when I say they want to be champion on that, it appears to me as though they have given up on an invisible God. They need to be led. They need somebody to guide them and direct them. And it was easy for them to represent lying and cheating and stealing and stuff because it was handed down to those who benefited from it and played parts in it. And how they got over here with the democracy thing, well, they try to bring that on too. And we don't even have to go that far. Remember the slaves in the South? Yeah, well, they were practicing all these basic things. And it was happening in the North too, but not like in the South. It was like the North, who was representing the Democratic Party, who didn't have that much of it, or had a lot of it, but not that much of it comparatively thinking or speaking. And the southern states, the South, they were like the Republican Party. They just so filled with it, that today, in 2024, these guys planning for in 2025 to do everything they can to reestablish slavery. Which brings to me the question. We hear Trump and all of those evil people, hateful people. Now, when I call them that, I'm saying these things about them. I know they're innocent to the degree that they were taught this, and they have not learned any better. Whatever is required to teach them, they have not met. And so they're still walking around in darkness. And for those of us who are not in that deep, for those of you who are not in that deep darkness like that, you are still in a form of darkness. And until there is no suffering and pain at the hands of man on this earth, we are guilty. The ones that's in the dim light and the ones in the dark light, deep dark light, they are all the same. And the only way you can be different from that is you got this candle that you're trying to burn up. You're trying to blow it up. Now, when you talk about the slavery thing, ladies and gentlemen, this is what, and I speak on that because that's what Republicans have given the impression that they're interested in. So I'm saying this. Black people were held slaves, not just in this country, all over the globe. But speaking for it in this country, and I'm sure it happened everywhere else, black people were so dehumanized. They even considered some animals to be worthy, worthy, more beneficial for their needs than we. They took us. You've heard the part about they split the family up, like Trump was trying to do at the border. Yeah, separate the family. Sell this one over here, this one over here. Uh, Negotiate and bargain with someone for this one over here, or this one over here. Now that was just one thing they were doing. What else do you think they were doing? They were brutalizing them. They were beating them. They were hanging them. They were killing them. The women were being sexualized. They were being raped. The men were being sodomized. The children were being used for oral sex. Anything that you can imagine that a low-down, dirty person could do. That's what was being done. Not everybody was going that low down and dirty, but that was just the beginning for some low down, dirty people. And it was happening to human beings, black people, people of color, who were considered as no humans at all, not human, no human qualities at all. Even split them up to some percentage, anything. We've had a black president. Didn't do too much for changing the status quo. Now the mother, they say, of the human race, a black woman, is threatening the slave master to run the country or to be the spokesman. See, they know that if the racist slave owner run the country, he's going to be a dictator. He's gonna tell all the people that falls and follow his stuff that they ain't nothing to worry about. But he's gonna dictate, mess over everybody else. And these people following along with him, they're saying, okay, do it. Long as you don't do it to us. They need it. I've been knowing they need it all the time. You know how that story goes. And there are going to be those that's going to say, well, I can't go along with this, but they passed a law, so obey those that got rules over you, so it'll go along. But for the people of color, your population, your history has been, your parents, your grandparents, they have fought and they died. They've given up their lives to make sure that this stuff stopped. And if it didn't stop with them, at least it keep the program going, keep the fight going, so it wouldn't happen to us. And if it is still happening here, we keep on going so it won't happen to those after us. And I think it's come to a heel. It's time for the stuff to stop. You know, the reason I know it's time for the stuff to stop is because, to me, I know for a fact that every human being on earth wants to live a satisfied life. I know there's not a person on earth that doesn't want to live a satisfied life. And that satisfied life would mean basically that your needs and your wants and your desires are met when you want it to. That means you don't have to suffer food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, infrastructure, anything that's made by the hands of man. Really, if you want to engage yourself in it, you think that you should be able to, and why not? That's every human being on earth want basically to achieve that and achieve it while living in peace and getting more prosperous and free, being who you are. Every human being on earth want to live with joy. Every human being on earth want to be happy. But more than that, when you put it all together, every human being on earth wants to live their dream. Not a single human being on earth. Now, in trying to do theirs, not knowing how to achieve it, they do everything they possibly can, which involves trying to rob others of theirs. They lie, cheat, and steal to exploit others, trying to get that because they don't know how. No one is giving them the map. Those who have talked about, well, you haven't found too many people talking about living heaven on earth. They always put that story to say When you die, maybe. But I say this because there's a way. When you got your needs and wants and your desires met, when you don't have to worry about stuff like that, then you can live in peace. And you know these things. Your needs, your wants, your desires. You know this. You don't know how to possess it. So let me tell you how to possess it. First of all, men believe that on earth, if there's a God, it's the ruler. It's the ruler. Now these guys got the people thinking that it's not just the ruler, but it's the people. You know, in a democracy, you say the people. But really, it's those that are in power. These people that are in power, and I'm talking about the top power. Top power, like in America, you think the president is top power. President is not top power. He might be top power as far as we can see. But no, he's just a small little bit thing being used to do what is being really done. But what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Is that of all of the things, you even know this. I'm going to tell you something that you know. I want you to think for a minute. Have you ever heard of anybody playing a part in making the earth? Making the earth. Now, I know you've heard about destroying it, tearing it up. You've heard about that. But developing the earth, making the earth more beautiful, contributing to what is required to make that earth more beautiful. You ever heard about that? But the earth exists, as beautiful as it is, by a power that's not us. And think about the stuff that we really use of the earth that allows us to have our needs and desires, and at least those who have them. But anyway, it provides for the things that we have determined are essential for our survival. All of those resources were here before, or at least they've always been here. And we've discovered when we're trying to do certain things where they are and access them and use them to produce the things that we've done. That all of those resources from a power we can't see. Earth we're on, we ain't got nothing to do with it, but we're here on it. The resources are here to do things, that take care of us. We didn't provide that. That was already provided for. We, even us, we're here. We are here. And we are kept by this earth. And we have the resources to feed ourselves out, take care of us. And now we know what we've determined what is required. Now, the next step. We know that God is responsible for all of that and even us. There's no mix-up about that. Now, how do we get those resources to the degree that every man, every woman, every child, every human being on earth can benefit from it without lying and cheating, without, the game? It's this. Think about it. Everybody benefits from it, okay? Air, walking on the earth, everything. Every human being benefits. So that you are here, it seems to me that in appreciation or in line with the continuation of a process, that everybody would give back. Give back. Now, how do you give back? Well, this is how this particular plan works. Everybody at the proper time, at the proper time, you choose a job or a career, whatever you want to call it. But you are given the opportunity to choose the job or career that gives you your greatest joy. You don't have to be an athlete talking about, oh man, I'm loving it and I'm getting paid. Or dancer, anybody, but then say, I'm doing it, I love it, I'm getting paid. No, you got that thing that gives you the joy, that makes you have no problem engaging in it continuously. You're loving it. And not only are you loving it, you are supporting humanity. And humanity needs everything that you're doing, because it works with what they are doing, that goes and serves the purpose and benefit of everybody. And that reservoir now that we have of goods and services is such an abundance that no one will have to be left out on anything. And you know what? Nobody's indebted to anybody else because everybody played a part in making it. Everybody played a part in producing what exists. You don't know you didn't produce everything, but you were in the process. You were in the process. You were in the creative process. You, all of you, made it happen. And you are bosses. Bosses to what? To yourselves, to know what you need of it, what you want of it, what you desire of it, when and then. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Just as easy as I'm laying up on this grass, telling you this truth. You can have it. No white man, no black man, nobody trying to be your boss. You see, you take away the opportunity for lying and cheating and stealing. When your needs are met, you don't lie. When your needs are met, you don't steal. When your needs are met, you don't kill. You live. And everybody's living. Somebody said, well, how did the evil get here? Well, I'll tell you like this. Every human being that I just got through saying, you got this here, you also got choice. You don't have, and you know you don't have to, because all of your life, all of the human experience on earth have rejected the life that I just shared with you. That's the one Jesus said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Every human, all the people, everybody has rejected this. You've gone through everything. Wars and millions and billions have been killed and robbing and stealing and people in the name of God killing and, oh, man, it's the craziest thing I ever heard of. But it's going on. In this simple life, all you got to do is recognize the truth. You recognize that God is the master. And you ain't got to be, and when God is the master and you're listening to God, God is love. You don't have to worry about this joker down the street or on this throne. No, why? Because you're going to do the right thing. That's your job, to represent what's right. I'm not even telling you right now how you can live on earth as though you're in heaven. Ain't nobody interested, it seems. But I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I sit there and tell you this stuff because I know what I'm talking about. I've seen the invisible God. How do you see him? The same way you will see him. What? Through the evidence. And when you got that, I can tell you the worst thing America can do is to put Donald Trump back in office. But if you put him back in office, that's what you deserve. That's exactly what you deserve, Donald Trump. And all the things that he said he's going to do or try to do, he's going to try to do it. And those of you who are against it are going to try to do what you can, some of you, to resist it, and others are going to hope that in the next election, if there is to be one, you can change it. And black people, I know you're not going to take this. I know you. There's a song that you used to sing, before you be a slave, you'll be dead and buried in your grave. You're not talking about tomorrow. You're talking about today. Then anytime anybody try to take you, black people, people of color, back into slavery and do the things that they used to do to you, oh, hell no. That ain't happening. So America, get that idea out of your head. So you only got one choice. Go on and join with Trump and go through the hell he's going to put you through, or try to stay above water by going with the Democrats. They will allow you to breathe at least a little bit more than that. But in the meantime, I can't expect you to go with God. No, you've been living hell too long. You know hell. When it comes down to God, you trust everything but the truth. Every faith, every denomination, every kind of preacher. Unless they want to come along and tell the truth, then he can forget it. Anyway, now this is meant to be a positive message. It really is. It's positive to me. Because you need these things that I've just shared with you. You need it. And that was my job. So, until next time, Eddie Marcus say goodbye.